Here we go.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
As promised, it's the Middle East special. Has the war started? How are we going to know? Do we get a text?
Not sure. I know we got a text for floods and things like that, but I'm pretty sure we won't have a defence missile system like they've got in Qatar and Israel. So, no, first we may know is there's a big bang.
Well, we won't hear that because we're in the Grumpy Pod bunker, so we're well protected. Business as usual for us. We've got to insert here the Trump dropping the bomb, the F-bomb, not the N-bomb. So listen to this, viewers, if you haven't heard it. This is spectacular.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I think it's probably worth apologising now as well, just in case. I mean, we can either apologise or do lots of different versions because it's so fast moving as to whether Israel and what they're called Iran. That's it. Whether Israel and Iran are at war, or whether there's a ceasefire, or what's going on really. So we probably just need to. At this stage, we think there's a ceasefire.
But they still bomb each other in that ceasefire.
They can do.
But it is still a ceasefire.
It is a ceasefire.
Other than the bombing.
I think it's termed a fragile ceasefire, which means
right.
you can still bomb each other. Really,
this is similar to when Iran bombed Qatar, aiming for the US Air Force bases, and they said that all 10 of their bombs hit the target.
Yeah.
But the US and the Qatar authorities said that all 10 bombs were intercepted. So it's a complete mirror image of each other.
Yeah, there's a couple of things there that don't really stack up with regards to. My understanding is that Iran had to give a show of strength and said they fired exactly the same amount of bombs at Qatar that the Americans dropped on them. So that's one thing I'm not sure adds up because I thought it was about 70 odd or something like that, the bombs that they dropped with. Or fired from submarines and the like. And then also, I think we should look at the positives of what seems to be the nicest and best etiquette of war ever, where they told them they were going to do it and kind of almost agreed at what time and where it was going to be, which was nice, and even Trump acknowledged that.
And quite rightly, Trump thanked them for that tip-off. I think that's commendable. You know, if only burglars would knock on your door and say, we're going to burgle you tomorrow night.
Yeah, would be nice.
It'd be a much better place to be.
Well, it would be nice. And also, I'm sure I'm not the only person that has kind of thought about this, but the F, what were they, 52s or the B, whatever they were. The
B-52s,
that's a group in it, yeah. The big funny looking planes that drop the bunker busters. I personally think the pilots deserve a medal. Not for dropping the bombs, but for managing to fly 38 hours without sleeping or having a piss or shit.
Well, they're Ryanair pilots, aren't they? You know that. They're on secondment from Ryanair. They go over for detachment. Yeah,
and I wonder if that's how they chose them. You know, I appreciate they probably do months, if not years, of training to be an elite, like the Top Gun elite of. Bomber command. I just wondered if the final criteria was kind of who could hold their piss for the longest or stay awake the longest. Yeah. Certainly wouldn't be the type of job that I could do with my bladder. But
I think that's a good starting point for why you might fail.
Yeah, but I do genuinely wonder how big those kind of cockpits are because. Or how many people are on board? You know, do they swap over and someone else flies through one? Is there a toilet on board?
I think cockpit's an unfortunate expression.
But
you can get a potty, can't you? You can get a potty that your appendage fits into, and you effectively fill up a bottle.
Okay. And what about the other? Do they just not eat for a few days beforehand?
You're talking solids. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Or do they drop that as well? I mean, that could be an option, I suppose. Just to really rub salt into the wounds, as it were. Here comes your bunker buster.
I wonder if we're missing the point. You know, there's World War III that's looming, and we're worried about how these guys have lasted 30 hours without
and sleep. It's a long way. Can you? I know most planes have got autopilot. Go back to Ryanair. I know you can kind of do that, but can you? Is it the done thing to put your fighter plane on auto while you're have a snooze?
Well, I think they are on auto, but I don't know if they're allowed to snooze. But yeah, I mean, how you stay awake for 30 hours and then expected, because they have to refuel as well, don't they? So
yes, they've got to be awake for that bit, I think.
Yeah, maybe they just set their alarm and say, "Wake me up in 15 hours."
Yeah,
for a pit stop.
Yeah, it's one of those things that will now probably keep me awake.
I wonder why they had to go all the way back to the US, because there's plenty of bases that in the UK they could have come back to, which is only 6 hours, 7 hours from maybe a bit more,
or take off from somewhere else. But I mean, that was always going to happen 3 days after Trump said, "I'll think about it for 2 weeks." It was always going to happen that it would be the next 72 hours or however long it was. But anyway, kind of moving on about the
war.
Yeah, the war. What's your thoughts on Trump?
He's a lunatic.
Okay, right, yeah. Do you want to elaborate?
No, I don't think we can. He's not. His decisions in government are just peculiar. His tariffs, his immigration policy, all sorts of things. And I think, he promised us all that he would sort Ukraine and Russia out the first day he was in power.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Now, don't get me wrong, politicians, they never deliver. They say things during the campaign that they don't actually deliver. He won't be the first, won't be the last. But some of his rants are just bizarre. Did you see, this is slightly off topic, well, it's still Trump, but did you see when he was interviewed in the Oval Office with the Juventus football team behind him?
No, I missed that one.
There were some members of the Juventus football team in the Oval Office behind him.
It's because of the Club World Cup.
Because of the Club World Cup, yeah. Two of them were Americans. And they had a photograph opportunity. It was all going according to plan. And then Trump turned around to one of them and said, "Could a woman play in your team?"
Right.
And these guys just didn't know, the footballers didn't know how to deal with it. And he was alluding to the fact that they're probably not strong enough to be in your team. And unfortunately, someone in a suit from Juventus, I think he was a manager or owner or something, turned around and said, "We've got a very good women's team, But Trump followed this line of interviewing with this player to say, but a woman couldn't play in your team. It was just bizarre. And now I think that sums up his leadership. The sooner he's out, the better. I do fear he's going to do his 4 years. He's going to change the constitution so that he can do another 4.
He would, yeah, definitely. And I don't know why people would be surprised by it. And the same as we talk about Musk all day as well. I sometimes think it's a bit of a movie plot we're in, because we've got a mad president. We've got a classic Bond villain called Elon, who owns a space rocket or two, and the whole world is just mad. But going back to the Trump thing, was that he was trying to kind of go down, somehow lead his way to this thing around men in women's sports, because he's got a big thing about
that. Undoubtedly. But he was asking the wrong people, wasn't he? He was asking the footballers that were just, and all of them. The main point of it is none of them wanted to be there. You could see the looks on their faces. They didn't want to be there. And it's pretty similar to his birthday parade where nobody was there. And even he fell asleep in his own birthday parade. And he tried to do a sort of North Korea style parade of military, and it just, a lot of the forces weren't marching particularly well. They weren't in time. They looked scruffy. They looked not interested. I genuinely think, unless something changes with Trump and the US, I think that the US is heading in a very dark direction.
Yeah, I do worry about his sanity. And as I've said to you before, if that was a kind of a business conference and someone like that stood up and just spoke off the cuff about complete shite and went off at every tangent and just repeated themselves, which is what he seems to do, just use things like beautiful Big Bill and beautiful, they'd be laughed out of the building. But how he gets away with it, and I am seriously worried about his actual mental health. I think he could be.
I'd agree.
He hasn't looked well recently. But going back to the rants, obviously, like yourself, been watching the news, the Iran, Israel war, or not war, whatever we're at the moment, and the post on Truth Social, which is probably another show in itself, as to. I've never tried to log on to Truth Social or join it. Maybe I should. That could be entertaining, but I'm surprised it hasn't been hacked. But anyway, the comment on there yesterday, I think it was, about MIGA, make Iran great again.
Yeah. You're going to have a Trump Plaza, aren't they? You're going to have a resort.
Well, yeah, probably. And then the fake news, and even when he gave his press conference after the bombing of Iran, it was just weird. There was a definite change of tone and almost laughter when he said, "We'll come back again, and next time it'll be easier."
Yeah, the sequel.
It was just weird.
And there is a little bit of irony that, okay, Iran probably aren't the right people to have a nuclear weapon, but how does this work that the US are one of the only countries, or the only country, to have ever dropped a nuclear bomb?
Yeah.
And they can tell countries that you can have a nuclear deterrent or you can't. I mean, how can they do that? I'm not saying Iran is, because Iran made it clear that if they had a nuclear bomb that they would wipe Israel off the face of the earth, which...
It's a great start to the week, is it?
It's not a good start. But, equally, are we all comfortable with us being in a position where we could say, you particular country can't have a nuclear bomb?
No.
Is there anyone else, are we happy with Trump having a nuclear bomb? We're talking about
I'm not
crazy dictators.
Personally happy with Trump having anything sharp. I think he's a little bit of
his wit's okay though.
A concern and danger. I was reading last night though, and I'll just sort of say friendly to cover myself legally, because it's just allegedly, in that apparently Israel have got nuclear weapons, but we're not allowed to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, they've got quite a few unofficially.
Okay.
Have had for a while. Just put that one out there. Yeah.
So when it comes to war in the Middle East, or peace in the Middle East, there hasn't been peace in the Middle East for a long time.
No.
It's always been sort of brimming over, and I can't see how Trump or anyone particularly is going to come up with a ceasefire that lasts. And I don't know what the end of the current situation is.
And it'll be a deal, because that's his word.
A
deal. Yeah, he doesn't talk about negotiation or settlement or working to peace. Generally, just everything's about the deal. Well, we'll see where it goes. The attack, Bryce Norton.
Yeah, shocking to wake up to that news that that people have broken into our top military airfield in the UK, Bryce Norton, RAF Bryce Norton, in the dead of night. Although it wasn't quite in the dead of night, it was in the early hours of the morning. Which,
and when you say broken into, I'm not convinced there was an awful lot of breaking to be done. It was probably just
someone left the gate open.
Probably, yeah.
But the biggest outrage, which affects us all, is that these protesters got through the runway and onto the parking area for these aircraft on electric scooters. And we all know what an absolute pain in the arse those things are.
They are.
So, we need to hunt them down to stop nicking our phones and our Rolexes and stop spraying our aeroplanes.
Spraying them red, causing this very naughty thing to do. Which has led to them being... I hold a thought about electric scooters, because unsurprisingly I've also got a view on electric scooters. But
go on.
Hold the thought. I'm just... What's the... they've been prescribed now, this Palestine action. So... should they be prescribed or shouldn't they? I know this is... There's
a terrorist organisation.
Straying into almost serious and stuff, but yeah, for spraying some planes, I've got a view, which people probably aren't interested in, but yeah.
Go on, share it. I mean, I'll give you my view.
Please do.
Because it might differ from yours. I think they've been condemned and made a terrorist organisation partly from embarrassment that they've managed to penetrate our top military airfield, and I think the government reaction is to go hard and say that they're terrorists when they're just really shit graffiti artists. on electric scooters, which
with a lot of red paint.
Yeah, so but only one colour. It's not even a Banksy. I mean, it's just.
No.
I think the government reaction to class them as terrorists is, I think it's a bit of an overreaction.
Right. Okay.
But I think it's brought about by embarrassment that they've done that, gained access and done that damage. Your view, go on.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm just thinking of the kind of two ends of the spectrum, and also tying that in with the news tonight. Bang up to date listeners that the kind of British threat assessment document has been issued, and apparently we should prepare for war on our soil. I just think I say soil for reasons which will become apparent in a moment. And two ends of the spectrum, we've got crack American pilots who fly halfway around the world and
without soiling themselves.
Without soiling themselves, yeah. You saw where that one was going for 34 hours, and pinpoint precision, and go back to their base. Your point earlier, they probably went back to their base because
Bryce Norton's not secure.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
I answered my own question there.
So they went back, and then the other end of the scale, we got a pilot who just said, "Well, I'll park my planes there, and they'll be fine." And some bloke who went, "Yeah, it's fine. Leave it there, no problem. Be there in the morning." And he comes back. It got millions of pounds worth of damage, and is now red rather than grey. But anyway, my view. I would like to think, with drawing on some past experience, that there are other things that sit behind this Palestine action. Because I would agree, just for that one-off, that's almost like throwing your teddy in the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if these are the same people that are protesting every weekend in London and Manchester, the Free Palestine thing. I don't even know if I can say that, from the river to the sea and all that.
You just
can I say any of that?
Well, you just no.
So if they're the same people that have done that, they do have a right to protest. So I don't think they could be classed as terrorists just because they've done that, and then they've done the Bryce Norton thing. I think you're right. There must be something else behind them that the government think that they're a terrorist organisation. But remains to be seen what comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, but whilst we're doing that, prescribing them, to keep the country safe, which is good because the intention's there. We'll give the Chinese permission to build their mega embassy in London, which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. But hey, I think it's got something like 200 bedrooms. Someone said.
Really?
So it's not really an embassy; it's more of a brothel, spy centre, hotel,
Apple factory.
Yeah.
They're going to make iPhones there because
it
we could get them out quicker.
Yeah, depending on the tariffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoever comes off better.
So electric scooters, obviously, the tool of the terrorists, but you've also got an issue with them. Yeah,
this week, because I know you'd be disappointed if something didn't happen in my life that just seemed to ruin it, really. Electric scooters, I think I mentioned it before, and I'm sure there's other people who agree that scooters stroke bikes, just a general menace to society.
Right.
So I was walking along. I mean, there's countless incidents that have occurred whilst we've been in our lovely leafy town. But one the other day particularly was I was walking along the pavement, which is what pavements are for. That's relevant. And I could see this person coming towards me on an electric scooter.
And balaclava?
No. Big bag.
Right.
With something to do with a food company written on it. And I get annoyed with people that kind of change sides of the pavement to go, and then you both end up kind of jostling for position. So I kept my line, and then he carried on riding towards me, and carried on riding, and basically stopped right in front of me. Obviously presuming I was either going to walk in the road or get out of his way, and he looked at me. I politely-ish said, "You're having a laugh. That's illegal, and there's a road there."
Yeah.
And he looked at me as if I was kind of speaking a foreign language.
Well, you were.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it was. And then they go through town as well on their electric souped-up bikes, which seem to do about 60 or 70 miles an hour. And it just comes back to lawless Britain, I think. because they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Illegal. So, there's certain places where they're on trial and certain, you can have them with adaptations, but how we got to a stage where people seem perfectly, allowed to just ride their bikes around on footpaths, through town centres, without any concern whatsoever or any ramifications from the law is beyond me. So that's my thing on electric scooters and bikes. Hate them, and not too keen on the people that ride them either.
Weren't you recommending I got one when my bike was stolen?
I wasn't recommending.
Oh.
I wasn't suggesting.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm sure you would be law-abiding and get the necessary insurance for it.
Would I? Oh. Sorry, you can edit that bit.
But even I'm on the move with the times, so even through the cycle lane or ride them on the road.
The law is a bit confusing, is it not, as to what you're allowed to electrically ride?
Scooter-wise, they're not allowed.
But you see tons of scooters.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, not allowed.
Okay.
Unless they're in a designated council area for trial.
Right.
They need to be insured.
And not burn your house down when you charge them up.
Yeah, well, they want to burn their own house down. That's life. And bikes are obviously bikes are bikes, so they're allowed to be on the road, but they're only supposed to be up to a certain power,
right?
Not tampered with, and able to do ridiculous speeds.
Because a lot of these things are built in China or in the Chinese embassy in London when that happens.
Yes, they are.
So that's why they're not up to standard with regards to
or super fast, super good, because the Chinese got the technology.
Yes,
maybe.
Let's lighten things up because I think the war's getting to us a little bit. Some lighter news stories. In fact, this next one is probably not much lighter for the poor chap. That a Brazilian guy who's been prosecuted for rape and a number of other sexual misconduct issues, child rape as well. He's not going to be extradited because he's gay and he believes he'll be persecuted in his own country for being gay, rather than the soft touch here where he can come across and.
I'm sure that's the best phraseology, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, what on earth are we doing?
Yeah. Well, plus the fact that he's clearly not gay. So
clearly not,
because he's married.
Yes,
but yeah, a judge in their infinite wisdom, or judges, have decided that, as you say, he can't be extradited because we've got to look after people and kind of worry about them, and
we've got to worry about his emotions, I guess, and his human rights. We can't risk contravening those, even though he's contravened the. In fact, I've just seen it was murder and child rape. Sorry, I thought he was a mere child rapist, but he's murdered somebody as well.
Allegedly, he ordered the murder. Yeah, he. I think there's a fair bit of evidence on him. He didn't actually do the murder.
No,
I think there's a fairly good case of ordering the murder of another gang leader.
Right.
But no, he's happy over here. His wife seemed quite happy when the cameras saw her, and I'm sure he's happy. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And this news story, this could have been bloody awful. A hiker in Colorado. I mean, it's as hot as anything in Colorado. He's hiking and he's been missing for 24 hours, and he didn't answer calls on his mobile phone from the search and rescue teams because it was from an unknown number. This hits home actually because I don't answer calls from unknown numbers. I think he's got a point. However, if you're out in the desert in the scorching hot for 24 hours, you get a phone call, even if it's somebody sending you double glazing, you'd probably take the call and say to them, by the way, could you send someone for me?
Plus, if nothing else, it's someone to talk to, isn't it? Just if you're on your own for that long, and your phone rings, you'd be grateful for the company, I would have thought. And as you say as well, you might want to not burden people with your problem, but you might want to slip in and say that don't want the double glazing, but by the way, could you just let people know that I'm...
Yeah, I think there's a lesson to be learnt there. And I think what I might do in my next phone call from an unknown number, I might say, thank God you phoned.
Yes.
I'm out hiking and I'm lost.
Yeah.
Could you help me?
Yeah, that could fall at the first hurdle, the fact that it was the search team that were ringing him, and your call might be from Sky or someone.
Trying to sell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, obviously it's good old United States of America. Where else could this sort of thing happen?
All I can think is you must have had some really bad experiences of people from withheld numbers. Not to ask if you're that, in that sort of desperate state, no water, lost, boiling hot.
I'm still not answering a call because I don't want Sky to ring me up and sell me a.
So he's either had really bad experiences or he's just a complete fuckwit. I don't know which really.
So talking of bad experiences, how was Devon?
Devon was it was good. It was good. We went down with some friends and we went down in their car. They've got an electric vehicle,
Not a scooter.
not a scooter, no, proper electric vehicle.
Yeah.
With insurance and everything.
You went in their car.
Went in their car.
Right, I'm going to love this because I've got a theory on electric people that own electric vehicles.
Yeah,
doing long journeys.
Yeah. I didn't know that range anxiety was a
thing.
Yeah, it is. What didn't fill me with confidence is I've travelled with this person before as well, and we had to make an emergency stop, and that was only from Guildford coming back to our local area, so not that far. And when we got in the car and they said we're going to wing it, we don't know where we're stopping to charge the car. That caused a little bit of angst. Yeah. But we got there. We got there.
How many times did you have to stop?
We stopped once for a big,
how many miles?
Big charge.
300 miles?
300-ish. Yeah. So we stopped. Yeah, that was fine. But then when we got to Devon area, firstly when we went for a couple of nights, we went there and back past Stonehenge. So there was lots of druids kind of wandering around looking for the sun and stuff because it was summer solstice. So we got there, and aside from the M5, we didn't go on the M5. We went on the 303 or something, I think. Aside from the M5, there's not actually that many main roads. I realised that kind of go down that way. And a little known fact that technically speaking, Cornwall is in a different time zone. It's
the 1950s.
It's about 10 years behind. So trying to find some charging places once down.
They need to build a big hub for charging cars at Stonehenge.
And tractors. Yeah. Oh, it's Stonehenge. Yeah.
Because you think those stones are shaped perfectly to plug into.
Yeah.
Nobody's thought of that.
No, we could put that one forward. But the charging, or the obvious charging places that were about, were kind of doing what I would call a trickle charge. Clearly it's the way of life down there that you just plug in your car and then you don't worry about it for a day or two while it charges. So it was different in trying to not the place yet for electric cars, and arguably I don't think the country's ready for electric cars.
No, if we survive the Middle East special, then we'll do a feature on electric cars, because I think generally people that drive them are show offs, and they want to tell everyone. Was your friend's a Tesla?
No.
That's a shame.
No, it's a BM.
That would have ticked 2 boxes.
Yeah, I have to say it did sound very much like when it's got a lot of good acceleration up it. I mean, we don't have the radio on and the aircon because that would have just like completely drained the battery. But when he put his foot down, it did sound like my old scale electrics.
Right.
Yeah, which I thought was quite amusing.
Which is connected to the mains, not rechargeable.
Yes.
That's probably where we're missing a trick with electric cars.
But I won't be rushing out to get an electric car just yet.
Okay.
It was an experience.
Not to be repeated. And when you stopped, how long did you have to stop for the trickle to be enough to get you to the destination?
On the way down, it wasn't too bad. We did find a fast charger.
Right.
We looked it up on because you've got sat nav, so We managed to find it on sat-nav before the power died completely on the screen.
Yeah.
And ironically, it was in the most unlikely place, in a very nice coffee farm shop. Fast charge. Yeah. It was down there that the actual problem was of a fast charge. We found a slow charge and gave up on that, and then found a fast charge. Wouldn't actually work either via the app or card swipe, and can't fault their customer service. I won't mention the company name, but I rang up and said, look, is your charger thing working properly? And he looked online and remotely and went, yeah, it is. So well, it's not working for me. So I can't fault the customer service, because he said, well, I'm going to authorise it effectively from this end, and then I'll send you an email with the amount, which was nice of him, because
very good.
I could have given him any other email. I didn't, obviously, because I'm honest.
Okay, as normal with our weekly diatribe, we like to pick out some wokeness of the week to highlight to you all, and this week's is a cracker. For those in the UK, you'll know what a Lollipop Man is. For those of you that aren't,
Tough.
Google it. So with the UK, we've got a much loved Lollipop Man. He's been banned from high-fiving school children, which is the council. You can imagine a rep from the council has probably got a clipboard and a high vis. Yeah. So he's rocked up, and this Lollipop Man, Neil Cotton, aged 57, is probably on minimum wage doing this.
Probably, and I say I have scrolled through this. So I'm not even going to tell the rest of the story. But I have scrolled through it. There doesn't seem to be any other motive for stopping him from what you're going to mention. There's no handing out sweets mentioned, anything like that. So.
No, but the council have deemed it to be a safety concern. Health and safety, of course, you can't just have a safety concern, it's got to have health and safety. And a claim that it is slowing down traffic.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a good thing. I thought he should be commended for that.
And indeed the purpose of him being there. I would say preferably the traffic would stop rather than just slow down. That once he steps out into the road with his giant lollipop, that the traffic is supposed to stop, and the kids are going to walk past regardless. And I'm sure even kids of that age can probably multitask of walk and high five.
Should be able to. Now, we're here to rule out wokeness and try and eliminate it. So in defence of the council, they're saying that his job is to teach the children to cross the roads, but I assume only at 8:30 in the morning and 2:15 in the afternoon, and not weekends.
No, it would appear so. As you say, they're concerned that it would be, and I quote, a distraction, and could make children forget how to cross the road safely. As you say, make them forget.
What do they do all the other time when the Lollipop Man's not there?
Yeah,
school holidays and the like.
Yeah, are they concerned that they're going to always not cross unless there's a bloke in a fluorescent jacket with a big stick and a circle on the end? Yeah. Forget how to cross the road. Do they know already how to cross the road? And if they do know how to cross the road safely already, then
he's done his job.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
If the government want to save money, get rid of all the lollipop men and women and them lollipop people.
Yeah, non-gender specific.
Yeah.
Lollipop persons. Yeah, I think this is wokeness gone absolutely bonkers. We need to stop this crap. This is just ridiculous. This guy, he could probably get paid double by going to work in a supermarket or something. He's trying to do the right thing, trying to cheer the kids up on the way to school.
Yeah.
If he worked for the BBC, he could do a lot worse than high-fiving the kids and get away with it. So I think give him a break. And whoever the rep from the council that decided to do this, what council is it? Let's name and shame. Is it? It's not. If it's Devon, where you were, that would be funny.
No.
Yorkshire, East Riding, Yorkshire Council. Isn't that where the grooming is?
I think it's everywhere, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, shame on you for being so woke and trying to put this guy out of a job. If I was him, I'd say, get stuffed. I'm going to go and high-five children in the supermarket and get paid double.
Yeah, or arrested.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's complete bullshit.
I'm just reading the quote again. It is vitally important that children learn to cross the road safely, concentrating without any distractions, apart from the bloke that stood there in a big day-glow jacket, walking carefully and being vigilant of the traffic. which they don't need to be that vigilant about because it's a false circumstance.
Yeah, so that's our wokeness of the week to end the show.
That's us then for another week, and as we've said before, if we could be at all bothered, we'll do another one next week. But to avoid us doing all the work, you're really welcome to have your input. If you have a gripe that really grinds your gears, then please share it with us.
You can contact us via the website www.grumpy-pod.com or WhatsApp direct to us on 07873 207 206. We have a no woke agenda, so the slightest hint of woke or apologetic slant, your message will be filtered straight to the deleted folder. However, if your gripe is suitably amusing and needs our expert opinion, we will include it in the next pods. Thanks for listening and hope you can join us again soon. Bye.